Welcome. In this session, we are going to do our final example of finding absolute extrema over an infinite interval. It's again a word problem. It gives us the demand function, and I have to find the maximum revenue. I have to start by finding the revenue function. R is P times Q. I plug in the given expression for P from the demand equation. That gives me the revenue function as 1000 Q times e to the negative Q over 500. I have to find its critical values. Since there is no restriction on Q, it can be any positive number. We have found critical values of expressions like this, a polynomial times an exponential. I first find the derivative using the product rule. The first factor is 1000 Q, its derivative with respect to Q is 1000, times second factor, the exponential, plus 1000 Q times derivative of the second factor, the exponential, e to the power negative Q over 500. Since the base is e, I get the exponential times derivative of the exponent. I can think of the exponent as negative 1 over 500 times Q. Its derivative is negative 1 over 500. Let's simplify this a little bit. 1000 divided by 500 is 2, and I also have this negative on Q. So when I simplify the second term, I get the exponential times negative 2Q. So if I factor out that exponential, the remaining factors are 1000 in the first term, negative 2Q in the second term. So I get the exponential times 1000 from the first term minus 2Q from the second. Exponentials can never be 0, which means the only critical value occurs when 1000 minus 2Q is 0. If I solve for Q from that, I will get Q equals 500. So there is just one critical value, namely 500. We really don't know how to find limits of exponential functions at infinity. So we will have to just use the second derivative test. To apply second derivative test, I need to find the second derivative first. Again, I have to differentiate an exponential times a polynomial. So I'm just going to use the product. Derivative of the exponential is same as before because it's the same exponential times the second factor, 1000 minus 2Q, plus the exponential times derivative of 1000 minus 2Q, which is negative 2. And I'm going to evaluate this at the number 500. If I plug in 500 for Q, in the first term, I have 1000 minus 2Q over 500. 1000 minus 2 times 500 is 0, so this is 0. In the second term, I have negative 2 times the exponential, and that will be negative because the exponential is positive. Since the second derivative is negative, 500 is a relative maximum, and since there is just one critical value from 0 to infinity, it must also be the absolute maximum. The problem asked for the maximum revenue. I'm going to plug in 500 for Q, the revenue function, and simplify that. The problem asked for the answer rounded to the nearest 1000, so round it off to the nearest multiple of 1000. It comes out to be approximately 184,000. This concludes our example and our discussion of absolute extrema word problems.